Hey guys, for this session, we're going to focus on knowing how to, now that you have pushed code into your GitHub repository, which is right here, I've provided the commit. We now want to see if we're ready to start seeing if we can push it over to the actual Indeni knowledge repository, have someone review the code for you and determine if it's ready for pushing into testing in QA. In order to do that, we want to do two things. The first thing we want to do is determine if we made any other changes that we need to consider. So we'll look at comparing your repository to the other one. We're also going to look at, and then after that, we're going to do something what is called a pull request, which allows us to merge the code you have in your repository into the Indeni knowledge testing repository, if that makes sense. So the first thing we're going to want to do is click plus. You're going to want to compare branches or tags. And then you're going to want to click compare. Now, as you can see, the only difference from our source, which is our own Bitbucket repository, versus the Indeni Bitbucket repository, you can see that the only difference is the commit or the code that you generated into your own from your own IND script. If you click diff, you'll see exactly what changes were made. And if you look at merge pull requests, you'll see which pull requests are currently active based on your repository. We'll get to that point next, which is where we go ahead and click pull requests. And you go ahead and click create a pull request. And you're going to do it based on your master branch, which you don't have to do any changes for. But please make sure that you make a pull request to the Indeni-knowledge repository, and you make sure you provide it into the staging branch. Next thing that you're going to want to do is make sure that you change the title and assign it to the IKP ticket. The way to assign it is simply make sure you invoke the name of the ticket number onto the title. So the naming convention for that will be below, IKP. The naming convention will be IKP-914, which is a JIRA ticket that we quickly generated for this purpose. We'll provide a description, added new code into script, and we'll go ahead and create pull request. Do not worry about assigning a reviewer because that'll be automatically assigned to you. Now that you've gone ahead and done that, make sure that only your commits are being added. Again, look at the diff and then confirm that these are the things that you want to make commitments to. Then you go ahead and create pull requests. And that's it. Now it's up to the reviewers at Indeni to determine if there's something that needs to be changed. You'll be assigned a reviewer here, which you'll notice shortly. As you can see, someone's already looking at my pull request. Okay. So let's give it some time and determine if there's been any changes. And the way to do that is go ahead and refresh the browser and see if anything's been added. So let's go ahead and click refresh. And as you can see, I believe our reviewer has gone ahead and added a comment into one of our scripts. Let's go ahead and take a look. By the way, if you want to know if you can get notified in any other way, you'll be getting an email directly from our reviewer to determine if there's been any changes been made or comments made on the code or on any of the commitments. Now, let's go ahead and scroll down to where exactly did our code reviewer make any changes or make any comments. Oh, there it is. It looks like Ulrika wanted me to make sure that the value is not 1 and that the value or the output should be 0. That means I'm going to have to go back to the IND script because this is the output file where it only generated or simulated using command runner. So I'm going to have to go to the IND script. So I'm going to go back to my Sublime text. But before I do, I just noticed that I got another comment from Ulrika. In fact, it'll tell me right here. Okay. It says right here that my title should also include the platform name. In this case, it would be IKP-914 and F5 with a description. Okay, that's fine. Let me go ahead and edit my pull request. make sure I add the changes that she had requested. So I will provide F5 description, updating weak SSL IND script. I'm going to update my pull requests. Okay, now that we've gone ahead and updated the title, let's go and change the appropriate values in the IND script that she wanted me to go over. So I'm going to go over to my Bitbucket repository. I'm going to pull up the IND script. Let me see if I can quickly look for where we write the metric. Okay, so in other words, she's going to want me to invert the logic that I have applied. So in here, I had the logic that if the second column or the second value is equal to enabled and the renegotiation size is less than or equal to 1000 and it's a sweet 32 cipher is equal to true, I want to assign the metric and the value of 1.0, which is right here. So in order to change that, I'm just going to simply change this value here to 0. I'm going to click save. And by the way, if you feel uncomfortable about any changes you made, you can quickly simulate that using Command Runner to determine if the changes that you made will take properly. Once you go ahead and validate that, you can go back to source tree. And you'll see that under file status, that changes you made will be identified under the diffs. And you'll go ahead and click commit up, and then I'll put here updated write double metric value to 0 instead of 1 for given case. I'll go ahead and click commit. Once I click commit, I'll go to my master branch in my local repository. I'll click pull. And then I'm going to go ahead and click push. Now I made the commitment over to my master branch. I'm now pushing it to my Bitbucket repository. And if I go back here, you will notice under commits that the new commit has already been added on to the pull request. And that's all you need to do. Every time the code reviewer adds any comments or any changes, and you make those required changes, and you provide commit and you push, those commits will automatically be updated under your pull request, and you have nothing else. And that's all you have to do. As you can imagine, there could be a lot of comments and a lot of things that we'll be reviewing in the code. Don't worry about how nitpicky it may seem. We just want to make sure that there's a certain level of consistency across all of it that's being contributed into our staging branch. That's it for today's session. If you have any questions, please pose on the forums. Thank you.